Verona is the largest town in Oneida County, from Verona Beach to Fort Rickey to Turning Stone Casino. It is dissected by both the current Erie Canal and the old Erie Canal, which is now an historic park. Small communities grew up along its banks when canalers found general stores, hotels, and dry docks. Family farms, cheese factories, and glass factories accounted for much of the town's early economy. We stop into the well-stocked museum on Germany Road in Durhamville to meet the president of the Historical Society, Tom Beaver, and historian Dorothy Smilo.
The first glass factory was in Durhamville, and then it was bought by Samuel Fox, who came up from Sand Lake, New York, where he'd had a glass factory. And it employed a lot of people, and they were master craftsmen from Germany. Many of them were master glass blowers. And they manufactured window glass in Durhamville. They paid the workers partially, at least, in shin plasters, and then they went to the factory store and spent their shin plasters. So the Fox company had the best of both worlds, I guess. Well, there were many small cheese factories in the area and small farms, and the farmers would take their extra milk to the cheese factory, and they would make the cheese, manufacture the cheese, and then it would be sent by canal or whatever to cities and distributed in that way.
There were two glass factories here in Verona, and at the end of the day there'd be molten glass left over, so that the craftsmen would take that and make what were called end-of-the-day pieces. I'm holding one here, for example. It is a chain made from glass. The glass, by the way, is hollow. You would like to have been here to see how they did that. Here is a very artistic rose that was made at the end of the day, and this was a gorgeous cane. You can come here and see all of these. You may not be able to hold on to them as I am, but you'll be able to see them, and they are really something. Scattered around the town of Verona, there were some 21 one-room schoolhouses. There's a display of a one-room schoolhouse here at the museum. It's loaded with all kinds of interesting things, including what caught my eye, this tin. It's called antiseptic dustless crayon. But as a matter of fact, crayons I can't picture being dustless. Apparently, back then, crayon also meant chalk. Just trying to find my way back home. Just trying to find my way. Many of the workers at the glass factories were master glass blowers from Germany, and they would be paid with regular money, but they'd also be paid with something called shin plasters. Tom and Dorothy were so happy with my performance here at the museum today that they paid me, and they paid me $4 in shin plasters, so I leave Verona richer than when I came. All the stars are falling from the sky. It's so nice, Molly, lying here by your side. One of Verona's famous sons was a farm boy, Russell Sage. He went off to work at 12, and then he invested in the railroads. He saw the future of the railroads. The railroad goes right straight through here in Verona. And the interesting thing is, though, it was his wife who took the millions that he made and used that money to found a very famous college, which of course is Russell Sage. Freight train runs through this town at 5:30. Railroad bums, hobos, freeloaders, tattered and dirty. Free life is all they will live. In 1829, this part of the hamlet of Verona was known as Hans Village, and in that year the oldest church in Verona was built. It's the First Presbyterian Church. It's still here, and you can come here to services on Sundays.
In 2003, the church celebrated its bicentennial and also celebrated their newly completed fellowship hall, built on faith. Breaking bread is becoming a bit more expensive these days, which means the Freihofer's bakery outlet is busier than ever.
There it'll stay, loving you.
For as long as I can remember, being that this is Mother's Day, it kind of brings it back. My mother would have my father come all the way out here. She couldn't drive and didn't drive, but he did. And so he'd drive all the way out here to Freihofer's to buy bread and donuts and things of that nature because you could get them, well, pretty much half price.
$4.27. I don't think so.
Oh, I do, because I was told down at the Historical Society that these shin plasters were good any place. They're no good here?
No.
Really?
But I do have a dirty truck you can wash.
Well, thank you. Tom told me that I could use these shin plasters any place in Verona. Well, so much for that.
On Rock Road in Verona, we visit the Root Farm Center for Equine-Assisted Therapies. Vaulting is a unique sport that is a combination of gymnastics and dance on a moving horse. It is an excellent form of exercise, improving strength, balance, and coordination. Richard gets his first lesson in vaulting with Stella, an affectionate and cooperative Norwegian fjord. The vaulting coaches take Richard through a series of beginning exercises. The Root Farm works with children and adults with special needs and helps them reach for physical and psychological goals beyond their customary limitations. Specially trained horses like Stella encourage nonverbal communications, reciprocal affection, and personal growth.
To see what we can see, traveling round the Mohawk Valley.
Root Farm was started with the belief that exposure to animals and farm life is healthy for all children, particularly children with special needs. And the relationship with the horse is a profoundly beneficial relationship for those children. I've been a horsewoman all my life, and I guess at a certain point in your life you decide that it's something that you'd like to pass on. The walking movement of the horse is virtually identical to the movement of the human pelvis walking. So a lot of our children who don't walk or don't walk normally, may never walk normally, get that sensation, and it's very emotionally moving. You really need to be here to experience it. Seeing the joy on those children's faces is unbelievably moving.
Evan has been coming for about 4 months. The reason that we got him involved with the Root Farm was so that he could have something that he could call his own. His siblings are involved in traditional activities such as sports and band, and he didn't really have anything that he could take ownership of and be proud of. So that's why we started coming. He loves and anticipates coming. He knows when he doesn't come what the next time will be. He loves the horse, something about a gentleness, that he's not afraid, and he's really proud of his accomplishments that he's had since he started to where he is now with the vaulting. I think some of the struggles he had in the past involved motor activity, and this seems to kind of relax him, more like a therapy effect. He also socially has some differences than his typical peers, and he treats, the staff here treats him as no different, and it's just a wonderful environment.
Well, I've tried vaulting, and the young lad Evan has inspired me to greater heights, so here I go.
Learn all about the Root Farm at their 4th annual Adaptive Vaulting Symposium next weekend. Friday is adaptive vaulting and hippotherapy. Saturday is a vaulting clinic with Rick Hawthorne from national champion Valley View Vaulters of California. And Sunday is the barrel vaulting competition. Visit rootfarm.org